Backstage at the Dayton Theater Guild with the cast and the director of a wonderful new play by Neil Simon, 45 Seconds from Broadway, which opens soon at the Dayton Theater Guild. And we're going to talk a little bit about the wonderful things that are part of this play. Fred, you're the director of the show, and you've been a part of many comedies here at the Guild, either as a director or as an actor. In fact, I think you played one of Neil Simon's great comic roles in The Sunshine Book.
Yes, one of my favorite roles, by the way.
What's special about this play?
Two wonderful things. It's a comedy, of course, and Neil Simon cannot be beat when it comes to comedies. He's the #1 guy. And number two, it's a very sweet show. It's a pay on to Broadway and all the people who populate it, the directors and the producers and the actors, and of course the people coming off the street and want to see the shows.
Playing the leading role in this show is Saul Kaplan. Saul, Dayton Theater goers know you from a wide variety of roles played, as well as many plays equally as well directed, and most of them comedic, not all, and a big bunch of them from the pen of Neil Simon. What do you think the setup is of this play?
The setup of the play, it's a little different from most of Simon's other plays. It's very episodic, and we've talked about it. It's almost like a sitcom. I mean, you can think of this as Cheers, set in a New York coffee shop. There's very short little scenes with 2 and 3 people, and then the action moves to a different table where other people are talking, and the action moves around the room. I mean, Simon is very, very big on the one set kind of show, the apartment set, but this one has the action moving around. It's almost cinematic in that you can almost see a camera moving around and catching these different little vignettes as they go on.
Now, the name of the character you're playing is Mickey Fox.
Mickey Fox.
Now, where does he fit in all this?
Mickey Fox is he's a conglomerate of a lot of the old Borscht Belt comics who then later found a home on Broadway doing one-man shows, kind of Jackie Mason.
Now, when you're playing this role, are you seeing Jackie Mason or someone else, or are you seeing your own version of this man?
I'm seeing my version of him, but certainly all those influences are in there. It's a challenge anytime you're playing a performer, because you've got to be able to perform as well as a performer. If you're doing, Phantom of the Opera, you've got to be able to sing, the opera. You've got to be as good as the person who's up there. It's my hope that I give at least, if Neil Simon were to come in, he would say, okay, that's pretty much what I had in mind. That's what we're looking for.
Sitting next to you is Gail Turner, who plays Bessie, and I must say welcome back after a much too long absence.
Thank you very much.
Tell me a little bit about Bessie.
Bessie seems to be an actress, a stage actress, who is real. She doesn't put on any fronts. She doesn't believe that she is really good, because she believes that when you're really good, you stop growing. So she is, she wants to continue to act on stage, but after a while she realizes there's not a lot of money on stage today. And eventually she does get a role in Hollywood in a TV series.
Well, Patty, you're playing Raylene.
Yes.
Now tell us about your character.
She's crazy. I mean, she's just certifiable. She says things from out of the blue, and you want to go, where are you from? And God love Charles, because you want to say, what did he ever see in her? Maybe she had the money, who knows? But she is crazy, and some of the things that she says, you kind of go, oh my goodness. And I think it would be really nice just to play an ordinary woman that you would meet at Kroger.
Well, it's another great comic role in this show that really shows you Simon's genius at putting comedy together.
Yes.
Well, next I'd like to talk to Terry Larson. You're playing Zelda, right?
Yes, I am.
This is your debut at the Theater Guild.
It is. I'm beyond thrilled.
Now, have you done theater previously?
I have. I've done some shows at Beaver Creek and the Dayton Playhouse.
Now, Zelda. What about Zelda?
Oh, Zelda. I love Zelda. My husband thinks it's typecasting. Zelda's a cross between a commanding general and a mother hen. Mickey's out dispensing advice, but the one dispensing advice to Mickey. Everyone is welcome. It's like, this is my home they're coming to. And also the way that the stage is here and the way the set is, I really do feel like everyone in there is part of my restaurant, well, mine and Bernie's. Apparently his name's on the lease, on the contract, but it's really mine.
Okay. Steve, this is your debut at the Guild too, I'm told, and you're playing Harry Fox.
Yeah.
Tell me about Harry.
Well, I had the distinct privilege of playing the only deadly serious character in a comedy. So right there, I mean, what are you going to do about that? But I think it's an important one because one of the things by the end of the show, I think you see Saul's character is, it's easy to say he's just this sort of rapid guy, everything's funny, everything's good, but the guy's got a lot of heart and got a lot of soul. And I think you really start to see that in a number of things he does for the Mantutu character. I can't remember his first name. Solomon Mantutu, but then you also see what he does for his brother. He shows a side of himself that I think is you know, pretty sincere, pretty nice. So I'm glad to make Saul look good in my efforts, and he says the check is in the mail, so what else can I say? Trust me.
Now I'm told that you live or have lived in England, is that true?
Yeah, actually, my father is, well, he's passed away since the start of this show, but I've been here off and on for the last 6 or 7 months. I work for the Department of Defense, teaching high school for 31, 32 years for them, and another 5 years in Ohio. And I taught drama, speech, that sort of thing in the Netherlands and in England, and married to an English woman. We actually have our house in Leicester, England. So I think I have the distinction of being the longest commute to rehearsals in the history of the Guild. So, you know, I have my little spot. I'll be that little footnote.
Well, Deborah Kent, you're playing Arlene. And amazingly, you're getting ready for this opening while you're preparing your cast and Miss Reardon drinks a little for the state competition. There's all kinds of props and
All
stuff.
those props over there on the side are from Miss Reardon.
The question is, how do you fit all of that into one day and hold down a job too?
Well, I know when I was talking to Fred about this show, I said, oh, I don't know. I'm preparing for Time Stands Still, which I'm directing as soon as this one opens. And then we have Miss Reardon to put back together for State Octa. So I was at work one day and I told Fred, I said, let me see what I'm doing here. And I kind of put my calendar out on my desk. I called my husband and said, what if I'm not home for dinner until the end of October?
Yeah, tell us about Arlene. You told us about you. Let's talk about Arlene.
Arlene is a fun character. She's kind of half of a duo. Arlene and Cindy, played by Deborah Strauss, and she's not here tonight. They are the ultimate theater goers. I mean, they're out on Broadway all the time, seeing everything they can possibly see. They come into the coffee shop here and there, and they have their coffee, and they talk about the plays, and they go to a backers audition, and they don't want to invest, they just want to watch the fight between, and among all the producers and things like that.
Now, Mary McGitt, you're playing Megan Woods. You debuted with the Guild a year ago in Opus.
She's fabulous.
And a wonderful, wonderful show. Tell us about this character that you play, Megan Woods.
Well, she is a mostly typical young woman right out of college, coming from Ohio to the big city to make it big as an actress.
Well, this sounds familiar.
She's a little atypical, though, in that her mother was here 22 years before she was and visited the same coffee shop and got to know Bernie and Zelda back then. But she failed and eventually came back to Ohio to have Megan. And she actually put a lot of pressure on Megan to go to try out acting, at least for a while.
Sitting next to you is Dave Nichols, who's certainly no stranger here, and you're playing a guy called Bernie.
Bernie.
So what does Bernie stand?
Well, Bernie's the owner of the joint, but as Terry mentioned earlier, Zelda runs the place. And him. Yeah, there's a ring in Bernie's nose. And there's a line there, but Bernie and Zelda, I think, are just genuinely nice people. Run this place that's a congregational point for everybody who touches, is involved with theater. Have loans outstanding to half the civilized world. And,
John Spidler, you play Charles. Tell me about Charles.
Charles is the sleeper.
That's a good.
That's the only thing I'm going to tell you.
There's a mystery in this plot, and it's a pretty darn good one, I'm told. Now lastly, K.L.Storer, who plays Andrew Duncan.
Yeah.
I would like you to tell us about Miss Duncan.
Well, Andrew is he's a British producer, probably, we were talking, Fred and I were talking today about the fact, I might have been Fred, or somebody and I were talking about the fact that he probably isn't as successful as he puts on air as he is. Because I was talking about the clothing that I would wear in my second scene, and I mentioned something about it would be high-end clothes. She said, and it was actually our costume. She said, well, I don't really know that he's all this successful. I said, yeah, but you know, he probably drives a car that he can't afford to make himself look more successful than he is. But he's trying to get Mickey involved in some productions in England. And he starts off lofty, and then it's not quite as lofty a little bit later on, his later proposals.
Well, folks, I think you can see that we have a very able cast that's going to be presenting a rich comedy that has so many little pieces and parts to it that you'll find each of them enjoyable. And it's all tied together with this wonderful character played by Saul. This is a play that opens August 23rd, plays 3 weekends. I invite you to come see 45 Seconds from Broadway. Thank you.